Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. I'm joined by Emmett
Hey y'all.
and Lillian.
So
How are we doing today?
Tired from watching soccer.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. One of the best derbies in the world. Chelsea Spurs was today, and it's bad. I don't want to talk about that's how mad I am, but yeah, continuing our Let's Talk series. Today we're talking about the Indiana Pacers. Oh, here's the disclaimer on every video. These are our opinions and thoughts. If they're wrong, so be it. But that's the fun of it. Also, I see. I mean, if you ever have a problem with anything that we say, please leave a comment. We like responding to some of those, and we like hearing feedback from everybody who listens to the video. So, thanks for listening and watching. And yeah, but talking about the Indiana Pacers today. Like we start all of these videos. What is the Pacers ceiling or floor and ceiling, I guess?
last in the league, second to last in the league.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So why so bad?
There's no real upside to the team.
Yeah.
They're young, don't have a lot of veterans, don't have a true superstar. Barely, I wouldn't even say they actually have a star. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's good, but no, and Miles Turner, but that's not enough to win more than 12 games.
I see them as either last in the league or honestly, like there's a chance that I see them flirting with the 10 seed. But I don't have much faith in them. They're in a really weird spot with guys that fit their timeline and guys that just don't.
Yeah.
And like I still think that there's a couple moves to be made before the season starts for them that haven't happened. But if they just go in with what they have, it's just kind of a weird fit all around. Don't think it'll work.
Yeah. So this team is like y'all said, like there's a couple guys who should be probably looking to be traded away, like Miles. I mean, Miles Turner's his name has been in trade talks for the past 2 or 3 years now. Do we think he'll start off? Oh, do you think he'll be traded this season?
Mm, I don't think so because
Oh, go ahead.
just because he's on the last year of his deal,
Oh, really?
yeah, and like I think what their asking price for him if he is in trade talks isn't what they want, just because he's on a 1 year deal and that makes it harder to move him.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's still fairly young, and I'm sure. I mean, if they don't have him, then but actually, without him, like they do have some other centers they could throw in there, but
Yeah.
I just don't think a team's going to throw an offer that they love, and so they'll keep him.
I mean, but isn't it like one of those things where it's like he has 1 year left on his deal? Let's look to get something out of him right now. Because he's 26 years old. He is one of the better centers in the league, one of the better big men in the league. And so there's still an asking price for him. Like I feel like they should be able to they should stretch and try to get something out of it. And like it's like the same thing with Buddy Hield. Like I know the Lakers have wanted him for a couple seasons now, but like I'm sure because right now they just need to rebuild. That's just they're not a win now team. I think they'll end up being like bottom of the league of course. But like they need to be able to like get some assets in. Like they need to trade away Buddy Hield. They need to trade away Miles Turner and start an actual rebuild because that's what this team needs. These players that they have right now aren't playoff, play in 10C players at all. Like they are literally they're there as placeholders. I'm not like killing these dudes because like they're that bad, but I'm just saying like compared to any other team in the East, they can't defend or play that well. But I mean, like it's time for like the rebuild. So trade away Miles Turner, trade away Buddy Hill. Um, you keep Halliburton. He's 22 years old, and you start building around him and TJ McCollum. And so that's just like the plan. That's what you have to go with for the Pacers right now. And so, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I gave up guessing on Pacers trades a long time ago just because there's rumors about almost every player on their team getting traded, and they either end up not getting traded or getting traded for something completely different. And that's really seen with Miles Turner. So if Miles Turner is traded, I'll honestly probably be surprised. But also, I think Tyrese Halliburton is a great building piece to start a rebuild, but they have to be willing to start that rebuild because he averaged, I think, 17 and a half and like 10 playing for the Pacers last year. And then you have Jalen Smith, who was like a former top 5 pick, I think. And top 10, sorry, he was 10th pick. Was supposed to be really good, didn't really do anything in Phoenix, but then got to Indiana, averaged 13 and 8. And then also the rookie Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona, I think.
I like him.
Looks like a good prospect. We'll see how he, competes in the NBA. But he played well in the summer league, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did. He had a good summer league.
I mean, and so it's like, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna say, like, similar to what y'all was saying, like, there's a reason they traded away Sabonis and Brogdon didn't bring back TJ Warren. Kind of similar to what the Magic did, is just kind of trade their good guys to get rebuild guys. And I just think they need to, like, if they're gonna trade those guys away, like, finish it off, like, trade your other dudes.
Yeah.
And start fresh, because what's the point of getting rid of those guys? Like, if you kept them around, then probably the goal would be to make the playoffs this year, but you traded them away. And so maybe in a perfect world, you get in the playoffs, but I think they're trying to go for a rebuild here. So I think they should, find something for the people they got.
Yeah, because I mean, let's be real. Buddy is one of the better 3-point shooters in the league, and he's averaged over his career, he's averaged 15 points. So it's like, why not go ahead and trade away him, get some assets for him, because you can get something. There's always something that someone. I mean, people love shooters in this league, and you can get something from Miles Turner as well. So it's like when you figure that out, and you go and you really simplify like your roster. Because the Magic, the Thunder, they've done it well for the past 2-3 seasons, where it's like, let's get rid of all of our assets and let's go get some picks. And the Rockets has done it well too, but we just go get some picks, let's get some draft, let's start young. I mean, and then from there, it's just a matter of getting it done. But I think right now, until they fully commit to a rebuild, like this team will be bottom in the East. And bottom in the NBA. And so where do we think, like, if there was trade talks, where do you think Buddy Hield would go? Where do we think Miles Turner would go?
I mean, if Miles Turner, I think, are great for him in Charlotte. Lob threat, which is great for Melo. And they needed a defensive center, which is something they've never really had. And that's what Miles Turner is. He protects that paint extremely well. And then Buddy Hield, something that should have happened last year, the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lakers are really, probably want to get rid of Russ at some point. Give him to the Pacers, let them buy him out. You get Buddy Hield, which is shooting that you've needed. Especially because I saw reports that they wanted to use Russ as a spot-up shooter in the corner more this year. Not what you should do. So if you want a spot-up corner shooter, you should definitely try and get Buddy Hield.
I mean, I also saw a report where it's like the Lakers are willing to use that 2027 pick and that 2029 pick. So
for Kyrie.
for Kyrie. And so I mean you can get a 3-team trade in, you can go get Buddy Hield, Kyrie Irving, and you can send Russ and those picks away. Like I don't know what the numbers look like, but that I mean you bring in Kyrie Irving and Buddy Hield to this a Lakers team, that'd be moving in the right direction. But Miles Turner, I think Lillian, what you said about the Hornets, that'd be big because we know that Montrez is in some trouble now. So we have no idea what that looks like. And Bridges, you're not gonna have to pay Bridges that max deal. So that's room for Miles Turner. Or you just wait till next year to give him a big deal. Because if he doesn't re-sign with the Pacers, or someone will probably offer him more money, he probably wants to get out of Indiana anyway. Like he'll probably go to a different team. And I'm sure the Hornets would put their name in that hat.
Yeah. I also think with the Lakers, like they got one chance to swing at somebody because their asset pool after these 2027, 29 picks is going to be next to none to get a name like Buddy Hield or Miles Turner. So yeah, I think if they were to go all in for someone, they should, like you said, Davion, if it could happen, then do a 3-team trade somehow, get Kyrie and Russ on your or Buddy Hield on your team. But I don't think it's worth it to them if they're going to trade one of those picks to get like Miles Turner, flip Russ. I don't think that's worth it then. I think they should just go for Kyrie. But to answer your question about where Miles Turner would fit, I think Dallas would be a great spot because he's from there and you can put him at the 5 and Christian Wood's more like a stretch 4 nowadays.
Yeah, he is.
And I mean, that would just like that could push the Mavs to the finals. Like, I don't know. I mean, Luka's that good.
Exactly.
So
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so I mean that's really like that. You make a really valid point. And like, does the Mavs have enough trade value right now for them to be able to trade for Miles Turner? Because I personally don't think by the end of the year, I don't think Miles Turner will be or by the trade deadline, I don't think Miles Turner will be a Pacer. I feel like they really need to start committing to this, committing to like why am I zoned out? Committing to the rebuild, and until that happens, like it just won't happen. I'm like they just can't do anything about it.
yeah, and especially since they like I actually really liked that they tried to go out and get DeAndre Ayton because like that's a situation where like that just boosts a couple years in your rebuild. Like he's basically on your timeline, and you've got Halliburton and some good wings to build around, and that would kind of just prove that Miles Turner is probably out the door. But I mean, the Suns were pretty stupid to match that deal, but so now you gotta have to go in another direction, and that's the rebuild.
And I honestly don't understand. Like, the Pacers, because the Pacers put a bid out for him, right?
Yeah,
and
they offered a max to him.
And so I mean, with that, like, because a good point bringing that up. Like, what is the goal for the Pacers at this point? Like, you try to go get Aiden, so you trade away Miles Turner, maybe. And
yeah,
you're
it'd probably be a sign and trade.
Yeah, and so whatever equity you get from Turner, you just use that to boost your team right now because I don't know. There's not much, but I definitely think if they got Aiden, they went and got some other pieces. They wouldn't have been drastically better, but they would have been a very interesting team to watch. But I mean, that's all I got for the Pacers. Anything else that y'all have?
I mean, I'm just interested to see what Halliburton's able to do this year. I think he's one of the most underrated young guards.
I agree.
I think I'd put him in that same level with Shea, which I know Shea's a couple years ahead and definitely has that all-star potential. But I think Halliburton has all-star potential as well. And I think
like Shea a lot.
Give Halliburton pieces to play make with, and he's one of the most dangerous guys with the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is I think that like Indiana sort of started doing some of this, but similar to what Detroit is doing, where they're taking in salary like Burks and Nerlens Noel and Kemba to get additional draft capital. I think that's a good strategy, especially if these guys are on 1 or 2 year deals. And I think, like, I know they have Daniel Tice right now. I know they have TJ McConnell, who's a good backup.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably stay, to be honest. But like guys like that, like you could probably flip, and some team trying to contend might throw in a later first or something protected. But I think it's worth it.
I agree. I mean, it's just a matter of if I think what's holding the Pacers back right now is if they wanting to commit to the actual rebuild, and until they figure that out, and until they figure out what their actual plan is, they will be last or the bottom in the Eastern Conference. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening. Yeah, this has been another installment of our Let's Talk Basketball series, and I have been your host Davion. That's Lillian, Emmett, and this has been the post game. Peace.